The Boogeyman is a 2023 supernatural horror film directed by Rob Savage, screenplay by Scott Beck, Brian Woods, and Mark Heyman, with a story by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, based on the short story The Boogeyman by Stephen King. The short story was first published in March of 1973 in the issue of the magazine Cavalier and later included in Stephen King's 1978 collection Night Shift. Now the short story, tells the story of Lester Billings, who comes into Dr. Will Harper's office and explains the events of what's happening, of what they call is the Boogeyman. That scene is in this movie, and that scene is really, really well done. The aspect of how everything else is done is really, really different. Mind you, the short story, The Boogeyman by Stephen King, is 12 to 15 pages long. This movie is 99 minutes long. So they had to do a lot of fleshing out. And the movie stars Sophie Thatcher as Sadie, Chris Mencia as Dr. Will Harper, and Vivian Lyra Blair as Sawyer Harper, who you may know as playing a young Princess Leia in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney+. The movie has its ups and downs, and it's a very, very big hit or miss. Now, the movie starts off with finding that the mother to Sawyer and Sadie passed away in a car accident, and Dr. Will Harper and the family are trying to cope with the loss of a loved one. They're really, really adamant about emotion, trauma, and stress. Sadie goes to high school and is getting bullied by the girls there. She thinks she has a best friend, but she doesn't. Sawyer is this young little girl who just, is afraid of the Boogeyman, or this monster demon that comes out of her closet at night. It plays on the perception of fear. What do you believe a child? Do you not believe a child? And what happens in the aspect of doing things? Now, after Lester Billings comes in and talks to Will Harper, that's when the events start in the story. The mind of how everything works is different. The short story is more scarier than this movie. Yes, I said that. The movie was really, really boring at times, and it didn't pick up at all. There were moments of scares and frights that were just jump scares. Most of the jump scares that you see in this movie are in the official trailer for this film. Vivian Lyra Blair is fantastic as Sawyer. She brings a whole different dynamic. Her face is great when she gets frightened or scared. And seeing the emotion that Sadie plays is really, really good. We find that this creature, this thing, feeds off of emotion, and it just attaches to everyone else. And it kind of mimics other people, which is not given an explanation of how it's done, but then the darkness does play tricks on you. The mind is just really, really different. We only see this creature in the dark. When they turn on the light, it's gone, and we really have this perception of what it is and what it isn't. The difference is that the movie Lights Out did it much better. Smile did it much better. Even The Haunting in Connecticut did it much better. If you take those three movies, put it in a movie blender, and then you pour it out, you get The Boogeyman. When anything is attached to Stephen King's name, people will come to see it. And that's the reason people want to see it. It says it's based on a short story by Stephen King. You get butts in seats. That's what happens, and that's why I went. This movie was supposed to be streaming service on Hulu, straight to streaming, but with positive test screenings, the studio decided to give it a theatrical release. Well, after seeing it, I feel like the streaming service would have been the better route. The movie lacks in scares. It's not horror at all. They're just quick jump scares, and that's it. And it just doesn't feel like a horror film. Nothing is scary. The only thing that's scary and the only thing that grabs you as the story and the emotion is the grief and the loss that every character is suffering in this film. And when we are scared, we manifest a being of something, whether it be darkness or light. We put those two together and we see something good or bad. That's what the basis of this story is. And you would think that, Sawyer would be the main focus, the little girl. She's not. The official trailer really threw us all off for a loop because the main focus is on Sadie. Dr. Will Harper and Lester Billings are the main focal point in the short story, but not in this movie. Their story is done in maybe 2 to 3 scenes, and that's it. The whole aspect of what is there, what is not there is great. The CGI aspect of the monster, demon, whatever you want to call it, but it just didn't feel like a horror film at all. There is no supernatural element to it. There's no horror element to it. You just light a Zippo lighter and that's it. It goes away. And the aspect of having the loss of a family member is really true and powerful in this, and that's what grabs your attention. It's that emotion, and you just see it, and this thing, whatever it is, plays off of that. It feeds off of that. And like I said, Lights Out did it better with the emotion, the grief side of it. Smile did it with the creature side of it. And The Haunting in Connecticut kind of did it with the aspect of the supernatural. Especially, and the reason I'm saying A Haunting in Connecticut is because there's a scene where something goes into the mouth of one of the characters, and it just looks like that aspect of what happened and what it was. Stephen King's short stories are coming into being feature full-length films. I don't think it's going to work anymore, and it didn't work with this. There are moments where it was boring, it was lacking, and when it did grab your attention, it just fell off a cliff, and it just steadied out, and it didn't really hold you all until the very end. There was no explanation of what this monster was, how it is at one house and it reappears at another, and how it attaches and disattaches to someone, or otherwise not lack thereof. While this movie is part of Hulu and even Disney. Yes, this is a Disney movie, so to speak, because Disney eventually opted for a theatrical release first following positive test screens. They figured, let's figure out what happens. Very different, very interesting, but I would say wait for streaming if you want to see this, because, it's from 20th Century Studios. So, because Disney does own 20th Century Studios now, because since Disney bought Fox, the acting by everyone was great, but it just didn't elevate it to a status where you want to say this is a new cult horror film, which didn't leave a lasting mark, especially when you leave the movie theater. And the end credits picked a song choice that had nothing to do with this film at all, playing Elvis Presley's Hunka Hunka Burning Love, or Burning Love. I didn't make any sense at all. I would love to know what aspect of that was, but it just didn't fit the whole basis of this, and I really left the movie theater really, really disappointed. It is a long time since I've seen a horror movie and left disappointed. I wanted more from this, and it could have been done really, really better, but it just didn't hit that mark. For me, The Boogeyman gets 1 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about The Boogeyman. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? Did you like the aspect of Stephen King's 12 to 15 page short story being put into a 99-minute film? What did you like about the acting? Did you dislike the acting? Did you want to know more about this demonic monster and how it attaches to people and what the backstory is? And what was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part of the movie? And what rating would you give The Boogeyman? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. And be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new review videos on my channel. I will see you all in the next review video, and thank you for tuning in.